Hi, my name is Monte Tilgner with the Iowa High School Athletic Association. This will be our week 2 training tape. We have 9 plays to look at from our games this past week in the state of Iowa. And let's get started. This first one involves blocking below the waist. We need to understand when it is legal, when it is illegal. We need to make sure that we are focused on our keys and the focus on the point of attack blocks and who should be seeing those blocks. So as we slowly get into this play, let's talk about who can legally block below the waist. So remember, offensive and defensive players who are on the line of scrimmage and within the free blocking zone may block below the waist in their initial continuing action. The initial block must be low. So we are going to have a pulling guard in this case, and our pulling guard is going to be out front leading this block. Our referee 100% should be on this block by our pulling guard. It is the point of attack block front side is what he should be focused on. Our back judge should also be in on this block. Our back judge on runs that are to the outside, focus on point of attack blocks in front of the runner. There's not really another block that he should be on. Therefore, we're going to have 2 officials on this block. Remember, don't debate. This is a safety foul. Don't debate if he starts the waist and slides down or not. Our phrase is, if he is intending to go low, he is buying that flag. So you'll see that he definitely intends to go low and take out this lead blocker, so we would have a foul. Comment down here is if this runner was free of foul, the line judge would be on this block, but since there's action on the runner, he's got to be on the runner. Sorry, I want to back up and look again. Just a reminder, this is a first down play. Remember, first and second down plays are treated differently than third and fourth down plays. So we have a first or second down play, and it's coming to the outside, a sweep, a pitch, an option, a quick pass. We want our line of scrimmage officials, both of them, to step back 3, 4, 5 yards in the offensive backfield and then open up, and then you can watch for blocks or action on the runner. So our line judge and our headline judge should right now already be starting to step back in that offensive backfield. And then we talked about who should be watching the blocks. I'll go in slow motion. We'll watch this defender definitely go low on this lead blocker. That is a foul for an illegal block below the waist by the defense. Now we need to start thinking about penalty enforcement. So the basic spot for a run that ends beyond the previous spot is the end of the run. This is a foul by the team not in possession, so it's enforced from the basic spot. There's no exception to that, remember. A foul by the team not in possession is always enforced from the basic spot. In this case, we are down at position 2 at the 24-yard line. Therefore, we're going to go half the distance from the end of the run. So we're going to end up with first down and 10 at the 12-yard line. We're going to go from position 2. And since we had a run that ended in bounds, we're going to have a hot clock. We're going to start on the ready for play. So again, we're going to go from the 24-yard line, position 2, to the 12-yard line, position 2, and we will have a hot clock. Next play, we've talked a lot about this, forward, backward pass, mechanics, and how to handle these. So this is a first or second down play. It's a first down play in this case. So we know as soon as we see something between the tackles, we're going to hold. If we read something coming out towards us or towards the sideline, both should go back. So as we start this play, right now we've got an option play coming outside. Therefore, I like the fact that I can definitely see The eyes of our official, our line judge here, are on this block, which is where they should be. We don't need to be watching this quarterback in space, but we do need to see that he's running an option at us, and therefore, as this arrow shows, we want to go back. We do go back a little late, but we do go back. And now he's if he was back a little further, it'd be a little easier, but he does process all this, and he does make a ruling that this was a forward pass, and he's got it incomplete. And remember, that's perfect, because if we have doubt on forward backward, we want to rule forward pass and incomplete. We don't want any cheap turnovers. Our philosophy is no cheap turnovers. Our philosophy is when in doubt, it's a forward pass and incomplete, not a backward pass where we have a live ball. So the line judge processes everything. He rules incomplete pass, and then he tells the referee he has a forward pass. A referee did get on the field mic and announce the pass was ruled forward and incomplete, second down. This is exactly how we want to handle this play. The only way we could have handled it better was to initially get back in that offensive backfield a little quicker. Both officials can do that. The headline judge at the top of the screen can do the same thing, and then you can have a little better idea on that being forward or backward. You're probably not going to get involved in that unless it gets to a crew conference, and then you could have some opinion on if that was forward or backward. The biggest thing is when we have doubt, we fall back in our philosophy of a forward pass and incomplete. And very important, referees, get on that mic and make that announcement. The pass was ruled forward and incomplete, second down. If you have a crew call or a crew conference about this, then the referee get back on the mic and say, after crew communication, the pass was ruled forward and incomplete, second down. What that tells everyone is that the crew got together, had a discussion, wanted to make sure they got it right, and this is the ruling that we have on the field. So handled very well by the crew. Thanks for sending it in, by the way. All right, this was another one sent in by the crew. Appreciate it. Talking about third down flow, fourth down go. And the question by the crew was, do we ever not continue flowing to the line to gain? What do we do if it's coming at us? So remember, third down flow. We're going to, at the snap, we're going to flow to the line to gain. The only time we hesitate on that flow, on that movement, is if we have a quick pass towards the sideline. Then both the H and the L should stop, hesitate, stop, and rule on that pass being forward or backward. As soon as we see that pass being thrown and make that judgment on forward or backward, at that time we can immediately continue again to the line to gain. Remember, our goal on third and fourth down is to be at the line to gain, to be at that money line when they get there. So as we continue this play, remember, third down flow. So start your flow at the snap. And now you see, ooh, quick pass coming my way. Both officials, the H who started his flow, the L who has hesitated a little bit. We would want to start that flow. But right now, you stop and you make a ruling on forward backward. And right now, you're like, I got it forward. Continue your flow again. Continue. Try to get to that line to gain. All right? You know if he drops it, you can stop and have an incomplete pass. But if he catches this, you want to stay in front and beat him to the line to gain. So we want to right now already be at the 49-yard line. You can see our headline judge at the top is almost there, perfect. We would want our line judge to be there. Even though it's coming at him, we want you to be at that line to gain. If they come right at you and they're coming out of bounds right at you, hold that line to gain and just back up. All right, we want you out of harm's way, but we want to keep that line to gain. We're treating this like it is the goal line. Get to that line to gain, get to that money line on third and fourth down, be ready to rule. In this case, we get hit, we have a fumble. Good job of getting your bag out, but don't get too excited. Stay off the field until you know you have someone down in possession or you have the ball in a pile. The problem is right now, if you come onto the field like you are here, and all of a sudden somebody picks this ball up, and we got a defensive player who picks this ball up right here, number 3 picks it up, and boom, he goes like this to start to run, boom, you're right in the way. And all of a sudden you're getting run into. So stay off the field. Good job here by our referee. We're going to be, momentarily digging, so we want to stop that clock. If we get Team A recovering this ball, we just wind it up again quick. All right, so good job. Handled pretty well by this crew on the play. Could have done a little better job mechanically with their third down flow. Just remember, third down flow, fourth down go. We're getting to that line to gain. The only time we will hesitate and stop is if we have a pass thrown to the outside. If we have a run, a quick pitch, something like that, an option, we're going to that line to gain. We're going to wait for them there. The only time we're going to stop is on that quick pass. Next play, blindside blocks. Most of the calls and emails and plays sent into the office this week were on blindside blocks. We had several of them, some that we got, some that we didn't get. We got to make sure we get them. So let's take a look at this play. First of all, again, this is a third down play. Third down and 5, third down and 4. At the snap, boom, we want to get to that line to gain. As we're doing so, we're going to officiate the blocks. We see that we've got a backward pass on this pitch. And now, as we're getting here, line judge, you can be focused in. Oops, sorry, I did not want that. I wanted an arrow. You can focus in from this position on this block right here. That's the same block that the back judge should be on at this point. We continue here. Block's good. Back judge now is going to be transitioning to this block. Our line judge has to be on the action around the runner because he is not free of foul. We continue. And this is going to be our player who is going to start going the wrong way. His team is going this direction. He's going to turn and block back towards his own goal line. That's the guy with the brick in his hand. That's the one we need to see. These are the two officials who are best to see it. Back judge, I would like you to have a little more depth, be probably at the other 45, even the other 40. That way you have a little better vision. You've got 65 yards to go to beat this guy to the goal line. Umpire, you're watching backside, but there's nothing really there. So hopefully you might see this guy with his brick, with the brick in the hand. Let's watch. Here's the block. All right, that's one we got to get. So again, going in slow motion, he cuts back. 100% a foul for a blindside block. So now we got to think about our penalty enforcement. Again, this is right at the point of attack. Even it doesn't matter if it's the point of attack. It's an illegal blindside block. We need a flag down. Hopefully we did have a flag down. I don't know for sure. I think we did. I hope we did. Penalty enforcement, let's talk about that. We have a running play that ended up beyond the previous spot. Therefore, we've got our basic spot is going to be the end of the run. The foul's by the team in possession behind the basic spot. So we're going to enforce it from the spot of the foul. That is incorrect. The foul is by the team in possession behind the basic spot. So we enforce it from not the basic spot. We enforce it from the spot of the foul. Sorry about that. 15 yards back from the spot of the foul. The next snap will be from the 29-yard line, position 1. And if we continue this play, you can see we ended up with a touchdown. So now if we go back again to here, there's our foul at the 39-yard line. During the run, we're going to enforce from the spot of the foul. So as my comment is here, 15 yards back from the spot of the foul. Next snap will be, we were at the 41, I believe. So going back, well, anyway, we're going back 15 yards. And we're going to snap it from position 1. Snap for the clock status because we ended up with a scoring play. Next play, another illegal blindside block. Illegal personal contact against a defenseless player, which is Rule 232.16D. That was a new rule that was put in last year. Take your pick, illegal blindside or illegal personal contact, but this is a foul. This is one you don't see every day. This is one you're going to have to talk about as a crew maybe to get it right, but let's take a look. Swing pass going backward to a receiver. Blown up. Doesn't matter what you call it. Is it a blindside block? Yeah, it is a blindside block. Is it illegal personal contact against a defenseless receiver? Yes, it is. What would make it not either a blindside block or a foul for illegal personal contact? That would be if he wraps up. This definitely is someone who is making an attempt on a pass, so he could be making a tackle, but he needs to make that tackle legally, which is by wrapping up when you get that contact. So it doesn't really matter which one you go with. This is recovered by the defense. So the result of our play is a touchdown. However, we have a 15-yard foul, and we got to start talking about enforcement. So we're going to enforce our basic spot. In this case is the previous spot. It's a foul by the team not in possession. So it's going to be enforced from the basic spot, which is the previous spot. And we're going to have 1st and 10 at the 24. That doesn't seem right. Let me go back here. I might have messed this up. Yeah, we're going forward. So we were at the 14. Previous spot. My bad. I'm getting myself confused here. We were at the 9. Yes, that's I was right in my analysis there. We're going to go the 9, 15 to the 24, and we're going to go at position 2 because that was our previous spot. And again, we had a scoring play, so we're going to be at the snap. So we're going to enforce this penalty. It will not be a touchdown on the defense. Enforce this penalty 15 yards from the previous spot, and we'll be on the snap. Again, for this not to be a foul, he would have to wrap up. He could hit him just as hard. He has to wrap up. Punt mechanics on this play, we've got a couple things. We've got a legal push. So it's a legal blindside block because it's a push from the blind side. We have an illegal blindside block as well. So let's talk about mechanics. Let's talk about penalty enforcement. First of all, at the snap, our line judge, you're going hard down the field. You're going to be watching on action by these players here. Our headline judge at the top. Remember, we want you to start a little sooner. You don't have to wait till that ball is kicked beyond the line of scrimmage. Right now, you can see that no one's around him. He's going to get the kickoff. You can start to go, but just watch. Make sure that ball gets kicked and make sure that ball is going to cross the line of scrimmage. Right now, you know that ball is going to cross the line of scrimmage. So now, H, as you're going downfield, again, you're watching gunners there. You're watching gunners there. It's very important we're watching those guys for either a block in the back or maybe a hold. We don't have anything yet. We're all good. Back judge in pretty good position. Right now, he is a runner. So right now, our back judge no longer has to worry about this. He does not have progress. You should be on blocks. This guy is in chase mode. So any contact in the back would be a foul if he is in chase mode behind him. What happens is he ends up getting to the side. This return or this kicking team player gets turned to the side, and therefore we could have a blindside block. Hard to tell, but this is a push from the side, open hands in front. He just pushes him to the ground, doesn't crunch him with the shoulders, so we do not have any foul there. As we continue, now we're going to have a blindside block coming right here. Referee, you're like the back judge on this play. This is a punt play. You're like the back judge now. you have to widen your vision. You've got to get all these cheap shots. Okay. Umpire might also see this just because it just opens up to him really well. But when we miss these, the coach sends these into the office along with their displeasure about the call. And we can't prevent the hit, but we can make sure we flag it. We got to get a flag down on this. I'm not sure if we did or we didn't. Hopefully we did. But again, going back, here's going to be our foul. Boom, right there at the 37-yard line. And talking penalty enforcement now. Our block is by the return team at the 37, 38-yard line. Our runner ends up down back here. So in your announcement to the crew, you're going to say during the return, illegal blindside block. I don't know what number it is, so I'm going to say it's number 10. We're going to enforce a penalty 15 yards from the end of the run. And we have a legal kick, so we're going to have the clock on the snap. Anytime you have a legal kick, you're going to have the clock on the snap for the next play, no matter what it is. All right, next play, defensive holding, converting into DPI. Keys, initial responsibilities are keys. And when the back judge can switch his focus from one side of the field to the other. Here's our initial keys. We got what's called a double-double. We got 2 eligible receivers on this side of the field, 2 eligible receivers on this side of the field. So we have what's called a balanced formation. When we have a balanced formation in all mechanics books, whether it be the IHSAA, NCAA, NFL, doesn't matter. When we have a balanced formation, by default, the strength of formation goes to the L side. Therefore, the back judge has the outside guy, line judge has the inside receiver. The H, you have both these guys. That's our initial responsibility. That doesn't mean we're going to stay with those guys the whole time. As this play develops, we've got one of those 2 receivers, inside guy, who stays in the block. When he stays in the block, line judge, don't stay in watching him block. It's a pass play. You need to shift your focus to the nearest receiver. That would be this action right here. So that's where our line judge would be on. When that back judge sees this receiver stay in the block, he knows the line judge is going to pick up this outside guy. That means he can shift his focus to this side of the field with 2 players. We're going to see a defensive hold. It's going to start out as a defensive hold. It's going to continue. Okay, so the hold starts before the pass. The grab, the restriction continues after the ball's in the air. Therefore, it converts to a DPI. We have what's called a D-hold converting to a DPI. So we're going to enforce the defensive pass interference. As previously mentioned, both the H and the B should be able to see this action. H would be primary, definitely should see it. A good back judge is going to switch over and he's going to pick up that as well. This was 4th and 4. Our snap was at the 29-yard line. Remember, NFHS football, this is a half the distance foul. We're going to go from the 29 to the 14.5. We do not have an automatic first down, but since it was 4th and 4, our penalty is going to result in a first down. We're going to enforce it from the previous spot, which was position 1. We have an incomplete pass. So, referee, your announcement is going to be pass interference defense number 10. The penalty be enforced half the distance from the previous spot and will result in a first down. And we know our clock is going to be on the snap because of the incomplete pass. All right, inadvertent whistle and DPI. We don't like inadvertent whistles, but when they happen, we got to know what to do with them. So, dreaded inadvertent whistle, what do we do now? Here's what we got. We've got defensive pass interference. You can see our flag in. Defensive pass interference was called. We had an interception. After the interception, we had an inadvertent whistle. Here's what we need to understand. Since we have a foul before the inadvertent whistle, we can enforce that foul, and the inadvertent whistle is ignored. Okay, so defense isn't going to get the ball because they fouled before they got it. They didn't get it with clean hands. We can enforce this foul. because it occurred before we had the inadvertent whistle. So we're going to go 1st and 10 at the B41 after we go 15 yards forward from the previous spot. Well, let's talk about a few other things with this. What if the inadvertent whistle occurred while the ball was in the air? Maybe it got tipped and then we had an inadvertent whistle. We have no option in that case but to replay the down. If the inadvertent whistle occurs during a kick or during a pass before the ball is possessed, we have no option but to replay the down. What if the inadvertent whistle occurs after the interception and we did not have any foul? So in that case, the defense got the ball with clean hands. After they have the ball, we have an inadvertent whistle. Then we go back to our inadvertent whistle rules. If there's an inadvertent whistle when a team is in possession, that team has the choice of replaying the down or having the ball at the spot it was located when the inadvertent whistle occurred. Obviously, the defensive team in that case would want to keep the ball, so they would have that have the ball at the place it was located when the inadvertent whistle occurred. What if we had an inadvertent whistle after the interception and we had a foul by either team at that point? Well, again, we had an inadvertent whistle, okay? But we had a foul that occurred. Then again, we could enforce that foul. If the defense had the ball, they're now the team in possession. They would have the choice of either enforcing that penalty, declining that penalty, but they would get to keep the ball. Last play. This was another one sent in by a crew. Really appreciate it. A great example. This is what crews do. This is what good crews do. They analyze their game and they make their own comments and they send them to the crew to discuss for their next pregame or maybe during the week. So these comments are actually by the crew. So their comment is there's 2 fouls on this play, both by the defense, roughing the passer, RPS, and defensive pass interference, DPI. So let's just look at the play quick. We can't see the roughing the passer, but it happens. We can see the DPI, easy DPI. Defender's not playing the ball, runs into the receiver, any contact, that's a foul. Okay, so now here's our comment again by the crew. This is not mine, this is them. Perfect. Enforcement, a few possibilities. You got to know the result of the play to report it to the referee. In this case, there was an incomplete pass. So we're going to decline the DPI and enforce the roughing the passer. And you say to yourself, well, what's the difference? They're both 15-yard penalties. The rationale, which is correct, is the roughing the passer is one of our few automatic first down fouls. So we're going to enforce that one because the DPI is 15 yards from the previous spot. Not always going to be a first down. They'd have to make the line to gain with that penalty, and then you'd have to replay the down. So if you have both of those, you just enforce the roughing the passer because we know that's going to be automatic first down. Option 2, or not option 2, but what about another scenario? If the pass was complete, well then you'd want to tack on the roughing the passer foul from the end of the play. If it was a touchdown, you could enforce either one of those fouls actually from on the PAT or the kickoff. So excellent job of reviewing the play by the crew. Great play for them to send in to Jared and myself because it's a really good one to discuss. So thank you for crews for sending them in. Thank you for coaches for sending them in. And good job this week. Let's continue to focus on those blindside blocks. Let's continue to have great pre-games, have good crew discussions, and we will talk to you again next week.